The Dawdler's philosophy.
Snippets. Just a taste.
One of the problems is with trying to do a good job at anything is that we're fucking chimps, right? We're these wild animals, domesticated animals that have a evolutionary heritage and all kinds of unwanted problems that, again, as we keep growing older, only seem to get worse.
Oh, jeez. The hardening of the chimp.
Yeah. Some parts harden.
That
some
could be,
parts
that could, yeah,
maybe.
that could be like weird. So I take that back. Anyway. Oh, put it on Twitter.
But we can also, we can do some stuff. We can get to the moon, right? Oh, just alienated more audience members. We can build skyscrapers for other chimps to knock down later. And, you know, there's all this stuff we can do. It seems to me inductively reasonable to suggest that when we do cool stuff, when we accomplish big, impressive projects, other than perhaps taking over the world with our population explosion.
Foreshadowing.
That reminds me of a future episode. Most of the time that we're doing cool stuff, it's because we somehow attempt to transcend our chimpness through procedural development, aka science and engineering, maybe tiny parts of philosophy, sometimes. But that we do it through idealization. If you want to get something done, then you need to abstract. You need to forget details. If you need to take into account all of the details, you will never get out of bed because there's too much information compared to our chimpy nervous systems. So we have to forget a bunch of it, and then we have to pretend that we're doing things that we know damn well we're not doing. There are no straight lines. There are no triangular objects. Alienated another audience member that I used to know. But
if there's a preemptive alienation process, I think you've accomplished it.
Yeah, now one of my old acquaintances will turn it off and rage. Anyway, but we strive through kind of a back and forth process between material science and engineering and measurement to try to build straighter and straighter straight edges. A straight edge that appears straight enough at a date is later proven quite jagged when we increase our magnification abilities. And now this thing that we thought was straight, it appears under this magnification as a very pointy mountain range. So now we've got to figure out how to flatten those out and try to make things straighter and straighter. It's all this process of bouncing back and forth between the actual messy animal chimp world and the idealized world of Olympus, where there really are such things as triangles and propositions and straightness and circles and the realm of the gods.
Nice.
So a way that I like to think about that pattern is that actually we are always chimps. That's where it starts. It comes from the gritty, soft and hard and scratchy and bumpy and mixed up animal bodies. It's very embodied. But then those dirty chimps can attempt to use language and symbolism to tell stories about what they think the realm of the gods might be like. And then by striving to pull the chimps upward by their Achilles heels, they don't have bootstraps, right? That we can attempt to approximate, that we can try to strap some wings on and be school play level angels, right? I mean,
Right.
we still can't fly and they fall off and whatever, but that we try to strap on some wings, and by telling stories about the gods, we can try to make the chimps angels. I don't know if that little poem works for you or means anything to you, but I think that describes science.
I love it. I don't know if it necessarily is only for science or scientific endeavors, but I just think that's a really nice sequence, if you will, of we're always chimps. We can be sometimes angels, but we'll never be gods. We'll never have straight lines. We'll never have perfect triangles. Yeah, and I like that a lot.
Because we also don't need them. We won't have them, but
Yeah,
it doesn't matter because your projects are influenced by your concerns, and your concerns are localized to your place in history, in your environment, the body you're in, etc. So we don't need to be gods. But by playing at it, sometimes we can do better than we would otherwise.
yeah, for sure. We have speech acts, but maybe we don't really have propositions. Is that also possible?
Yep. I mean, to make that analogy here, the chimp would be the speech act, the god would be the proposition, and then the angel would be, I guess, what they called the rational reconstruction of the argument by a trained theorist. So you've got your two chimps arguing in the airport, and then you've got the abstract propositions that they're trying to play with or not. And then you've got the scientist in the background with their notepad out and their, what do they call those? Pencil protectors or whatever. And they're pulling that and they're writing down what these people are saying, and then they go back to the lab and they reconstruct what they think was going on. That's kind of the angel level.
So you're saying that angels are dorks?
Big time.
Sweet.
It sounds better to say dorks are angels than angels are dorks.
Oh,
Maybe A is not A. You know what I mean? People don't like this kind of thing, but it works for me. That, all right, if A is A and you say angels are dorks, then dorks are angels and they're the same. But then consider the difference between those two, the pragmatic speech act level difference of the phrase, dorks are angels, to angels are dorks. And they're very different things.
It's true. It's kind of funny. But that's because we, in our enthymemic way, are smuggling in some things about angels that we use in one, permutation of it that we don't use in the other.
Right. A phrase that I like for this kind of thing is connotative pollution.
Excellent.
We have, since we have good connotations for the term angel and negative connotations with the term dork, it's an entirely different act in the speech act sense, in the what force does your locution have? Because one would be an insult and one would be a compliment.
Isn't that funny?
Though all you're really doing on a logical level is asserting an identity. If one is the other, then they both is themselves. And
Right. Fucking dorks. And angels.
Anyway, we're referencing the general semantics episode. What was that? 7, 8, where we argued.
Honestly,
Alfred
I'm
Korzybski
it's
that
starting
A
to
was
become
not
a
A.
problem. I'm like, on the same feeling. I'm like, 8? I don't know. Shit, I don't remember. Here we are making these things. We don't even know what we're doing. What am I did? Anyway.
So that's how I would also like to look at argument. That argument would be one of these godlike idealizations, and the practice of attempting to develop a procedure that most reliably led to chimp-level agreements might be, so that the God-level thing would be the discourse norms, and then the actual conversation is the chimp level. And then if, over time, your tribe, your troop, could get better and better at engaging in types of discourse that led to agreement, which then facilitated them to collaborate on their projects, then they're strapping their wings on.
So the best kind of strap on.
Oh my God. We're going to have to be we're going to be labeled explicit now.